boys and girls, as I promised, Tank is here on our next book. Here's Tanky, and here's Bubble. Say hi, Bubba. Okay, let's start the next book. The Story of Ferdinand by Monroe Leaf. Drawings by Robert Lawson. El Toro Feroz, Fernando. The Story of Ferdinand. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. Wee! Smell the flower, just like Tanky. Tanky likes to smell flowers too. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome. And because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, tough, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on a nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Oh no. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him, and that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Wow, did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest, fiercest bull of all. Just the one for the bullfight in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the bandolerios with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make them mad. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him even madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a rat cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Wow. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandolerios were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the bandolerios were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off with his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, he is sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He is very happy. The end. And you know what? Biscuit is still here. And so is Bubba. They're still here sitting on my lap. They did a good thing, didn't they? They can last the whole book. I'm proud of them. And I'm proud of you too for listening through the whole book with me. I hope you like it. Bye-bye. A proverb says, "It's not the brave man who look down at the fallen, but he who can lift him." We live in a world today, boys and girls, where just because you look a certain way, people look down on you. People look at you a certain way. Sometimes they make fun of you. Sometimes they make you out of something you are not. And sometimes people call you names and say bad things because you are different. At school, other kids would pick on you just because of the clothes you wear, the color of your skin, or the way you wear your hat. I want to look at Ferdinand. He is like that. He has a gentle character and wouldn't hurt anyone. But when people look at him, they misunderstand him. So, being a person of character, the character is not about what people say about you. It's about who you are in your heart. It's about what you are made of. how you act, do things, and look after others. That is strength. Not physical strength, but inner strength. All the great men and women in history, boys and girls, have great inner strength. Like Ferdinand, you can work on that strength too. You can be a person of character who looks out for others, treat others fairly, and does good to others. So be like Ferdinand. Don't worry about what people say about you and what you look like on the outside, but be a strong person on the inside, a person of integrity, honor, and self-respect. Be that kind of person, boys and girls. Use your power and strength to help others and not harm them or say nasty things to them. Make the world a better place every day by being the best that you can be. That's our book for today. And I will see you next time on our next adventure. Thank you, boys and girls, for listening to me again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.